Alright, first off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways, pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps, Shalom. This is Brother Irawam from J. Mr. Maker Camp, coming with another quick lesson. And today's lesson is going to be based on honing your skills, or better yet, honing your craft. You know, I was actually just meditating on talents, different functions, and really in this truth, we have varying skills. Every some people were born to be based on the lot that Lord gave them. We're meant to be professional athletes. Some musicians, some artists. And the thing that all of them have in common is the fact that they have to hone those skills. They have to constantly keep at it, right? But with here in the truth, if it's a case that Yahweh Shem Shai, bestowed his mercy upon you and gave you the understanding of this scripture, then obviously your skill that you need to hone is to hone that skill of being an oracle of Yahweh Shem Shai. You have to hone those skills of studying the scriptures, hone those skills of constantly applying the scriptures, practicing and rehearsing the righteous acts, doing these videos, whether it be, your breakdowns, whether it be, doing camp. We have to hone our skills, so that we can produce in or performing to the best of our abilities, right? Because ultimately that's how you stay in the game, that's how you actually, keep on point. We were blessed, and that is our skill. We should eat, breathe, sleep these scriptures, all within balance, of course, because as countless times brothers say, the apostles, that there's no way you're gonna be in the spirit 24/7 365. You're not gonna always reading, you're not gonna always be doing a video, but your mindset, for the majority of your time, everything that you do will be filtered through the scriptures, and that's how you own your skills. You have certain activities that you need to participate in, and you have a certain level of conduct, right? So so this truth, you have to see this truth as your craft, right? Now, this is the word craft from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. It says skill in planning, making, or executing, right? An occupation or trade requiring manual dexterity or artistic skills. And that's the thing. This is our occupation. This is our trade, if you will. As the parable of the talents goes. They, they got those talents and they were supposed to actually trade them. He said, "What, occupy until I come." So we should be honing our skills and growing in how we operate within this truth, right? Hey, as I say, we're supposed to be honing in, right? Moving on, it says the second definition goes. It says to make or produce with care, skill, or ingenuity. Everyone should have their own personal relationship with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Everybody has their own little. Basically, it's the same tools, but we all use our tools a bit differently. Just like within I can speak as it relates to art. You have certain drawing techniques that there are many ways how you can draw a figure first, so to speak. There are many ways how you can do a portrait. There are many different mediums that you can use and get similar or the same effect, or slightly different effects. But at the end of the day, it's still a portrait, it's still a picture, it's still a drawing, or it's still a painting. It's still art, right? But everyone use different tools. Some people may use their fingers, some people might use brush, some people might use a computer, some people might use traditional medium. It all depends on how you actually go, your exposure to the content and how you grow therewith. you know some people will write, some artists will write songs, some will freestyle. you know it all applies. Some people are managers. It all depends on how the Lord exposed you to this truth and how you follow that path and follow the Spirit and grow through the Spirit based on how the Lord guides you on a day-to-day basis. But you, the major part of honing your skills is the fact that you have to, Salaka, you have to keep at it. It's something that you have to constantly be occupied in, right? Now, as you go down here to the root, the words goes back to Middle English. It says strength, skill, from Old English craft or craft. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. It goes back to what? Strength, right? So your craft is your strength. What is our strength? Well, who is our strength? Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And how does he strengthen us? How does he deal with us? How do we get source? How do we source that strength? By constantly staying in these scriptures, by praying, by fasting, by studying. That's how we continue to hone our skills. So we definitely need to be occupied in these prophecies, and we need to keep on watching, So we do what needs to be done to hone your skills, so that at the end of the day, you'll become worthy, because what you're producing, you're executing, you own your skills and get better every day. Every day you get injured. It's like you're a genius. You'll be creative with it. It comes intuitive, right? Everything that falls along the pattern where you're constantly producing at your best, and that honing your skills is another way of saying, keep growing in the ministry. You get sharper and sharper as you go. Right? Now, I'm going to look up the word skill real quickly. Then I'm just going to get some precepts and then I'll be out. And this won't be a quick lesson. But let me just get the word skill. Right? It says the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance, right? So your ability, the ability to use the knowledge and wisdom and understanding that you get from these scriptures, effectively, and also readily in execution or performance, right? Dexterity or coordination, especially in the execution of learned physical task, whether it be doing a video, whether it be studying, whether it be applying it to a particular situation, and yes, we're going to make mistakes, because part of honing your skills, part of practice is actually making the mistakes so that you can improve thereby, right? The second definition says a learned power of doing something competently, a developed aptitude or ability. So how is it that you plan to develop in this truth, right? How is it that you're going to grow in this truth? How is it that you're going to be able to function within this truth, right? It's because you have to keep on experiment with it. You have to keep on, growing and interacting with it. And when you go down here, it says, whole Norse skill jar to separate the divide. Basically, your skill is what separates you from from a different from another man. Obviously, the men of the Lord, the truth is what makes us separate. But what makes you separate from another brother is basically how you use the talents that has been given unto you. Based on your measure, based on your lot, right? So you have to hone those skills. Hey, that's why we always say, look, with the little that you have, you teach. Based on the lot. So some brothers have a lot of knowledge. They do more lessons. They they do different types of lessons. The lessons may be a bit more complex, so to speak. They'll be able to break down complex things. While another brother, he may not have as much knowledge, but whatever he has, he breaks down to the best of his ability, and it's still edifying. Whatever portion has been given unto you, grow thereby. Some got 1 talent, some had 2, some had 5 talents. Like in the parable, and they gained according to what they had, right? So we need to hone our skills, especially now that we've seen that these prophecies are popping off right, left, and center, right? And to show that you have to constantly be in, in the spirit, constantly have to be, dissecting this word, studying and being making this your meditation day and night, This should be on the forefront of your mind. Let's just see what the scriptures have to say. Right now, I'm going to pull this one from the Apocrypha, and I'm going to start at let me start at verse 25. Right, this is Ecclesiasticus 38 verse 25. It says, how can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow? Right, because this is explaining about men that are that have honed their skills in particular fields. Right, it says, how can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and that glorieth in the goad, that driveth oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose talks is of bullocks. So you go to a man like this, all he will be able to tell you about is basically you know how to deal with animals, right? These oxen and these goats, and also plowing, farming, husbandry, right? He giveth his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kin fodder, right? So every carpenter and workmaster, notice that it says workmaster, that laboreth day and night, and they that cut and grave seals, and are diligent to make great variety, and give it themselves to counterfeit imagery, and watch to finish a work. That's showing again, these are men that are masters within their fields, and you can see that they give their all to this particular skill, because these are actually skills. These are their strengths. That's how they actually make their living. That's their livelihood. That's how they prevail, or that's how they get by in the world, right? Verse 28 says, the smith also sitting by the anvil, and considering the iron work, the vapor of the fire washeth his flesh, he fighteth with the heat of the furnace, the noise of the hammer and anvil is ever in his ears, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He set his mind to finish his work, and watch it to polish it perfectly. Right? So as you can see, with each of these things, they are setting their mind to it. It's always this is what they eat and breathe, so that the potter sitting at his work and turning the wheel about with his feet, who is always careful to set his work and make it all his work by number. He fashioneth the clay with his arm, and boweth down his strength before his feet. He applied it himself to lead it over, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace. Right? It says, all these trust to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work. Without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. Right? So they're always, the husbandman is always in the field. The carpenter is always, whether it's in his shop or wherever it is, working with the wood. The potter, same thing. The smith, the same thing, always there. But it says they trust in their own work, right? It says, without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. Now, picture, we are building the kingdom of heaven. We are building the house of the Lord, right? Therefore, these things are also, we are of the house of the Lord. We are those furnitures, So we can look at it from both ways. Either you're those various, each brother it would fall in one of these fields, whether you be a husbandman in the spirit, feed, plowing the land, or feeding, taking care of the animals, so that you can supply with meat and all these things. Whether you be a carpenter, building things to go in the house, whatever. We are those men that have similar skills within the truth, on a spiritual level, where we have to hone those skills. So some of you may be spiritual carpenters, some of us may be spiritual smiths, some of us may be spiritual husbandmen, some of us may be spiritual potters, and the list goes on, because this is just a few skills that dwell on the earth. So all of that they do from a carnal standpoint, we need to be doing that from a spiritual standpoint, based on how the Lord has given us our lot within this truth. Right? So that what? Because it says, without these cannot a city be inhabited. So the city that we're thinking about is the kingdom of heaven. So we have to be pushing on a spiritual level. Right? Let me get my final precept. Right? This is Ephesians chapter 4. Let's start at verse 7. It says, but unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Hamashiach. Wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now he that ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of the Messiah, till we all come in unity of the faith and to the knowledge of the Son of the Heavenly Father, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of the Messiah. So you see that there are different offices that we have. We serve different functions, and we need to hone those skills. Till we all come in unity of faith, of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High, unto a perfect man, and unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of the Messiah. So we keep doing and pushing this work, until we are perfect. Till that time, till we being of the hopeful elect, till we're sealed. Lord willing, we're of that number. Right? So my exhortation to you, Akim, is to hone your skills. Right? You have a scripture in the Apocrypha, it says, through skill, a man is known, or he's commended, or something along those lines. I don't remember how it's worded. If a brother remember, he can put it in the comment section. Basically, but by skill, is a man known among the elders, or something along those lines. Basically, what it's saying that when you have a skill and you're actually good at it, it actually lets you get acknowledged, and we want to be acknowledged by Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. So we need to hone our spiritual skills, so Lord willing, we obtain salvation, right? We build onto that perfect man. So, hope this was edifying. Once more, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai, B'Ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways, pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom.